Plans for Roman Reigns after WWE Clash at the Castle. Why Paul Heyman missed WWE's Clash at the Castle. Sami Zayn on being left out of most recent Bloodline poster. WWE reportedly wants Ronda Rousey to be a big star like Brock Lesnar. Ripley sends a 4-word message to Mandy Rose after her historic win at NXT Worlds Collide. Bray Wyatt's sister sends a message to Sasha Banks. Let's jump right in. Why Paul Heyman missed WWE's Clash at the Castle. The reigning undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns had no choice but to go out alone at Clash at the Castle this past weekend since the Usos, Sami Zayn, and Paul Heyman had all been written off WWE TV. While there were rumors that all 4 men had remained in the United States and not made the trip across the pond, this wasn't actually the case. According to a report by PW Insider, Paul Heyman was backstage at the show, but he just didn't appear on screen alongside Roman Reigns because he is still selling the injuries that he sustained at SummerSlam. While it was noted Paul Heyman wasn't there yesterday in Cardiff on commentary, he was actually backstage working at the show. Reigns were forced to rely on his cousin NXT superstar Solo Sikoa in Cardiff, Wales, since none of the Bloodline were able to help him fend off Drew McIntyre with the United Kingdom behind him. Paul Heyman hasn't been seen since SummerSlam, because the wise man put himself in the path of Brock Lesnar in order to help preserve the title reign of the Tribal Chief. This ended badly for Heyman since his former client didn't think twice about delivering an F5 through announce table and leaving him lying in his wake. After the match, Heyman was helped to the back, but given his injury, it's clear that he needed to take some time away to sell the fact that he's not a wrestler, and it's one of the business's most devastating moves. As of writing, it's unclear what the plan is concerning Paul Heyman's return to SmackDown. How do you think Paul Heyman should make his return? Have your say in the comments section below. Sami Zayn on being left out of most recent Bloodline poster. Former Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn recently gave a 2-word reaction to being left out of a Bloodline poster. Sami Zayn has been relentlessly trying to join Roman Reigns in the Bloodline for the past few months. He was given the title of honorary use by the Usos and has helped them on several occasions. A couple of weeks ago on SmackDown, Zayn helped the group destroy Drew McIntyre and even delivered a hell of a kick to the Scottish War. However, the former Intercontinental Champion still can't seem to cut it in the faction. When the Usos uploaded a story to their Instagram story of the Bloodline over the year, the picture also had Solo Sikoa as the newest addition to the stable, but the only person missing from the pic was Sami Zayn. The former Intercontinental Champion took a screenshot of the story and posted it on Twitter with the caption, "My dog." This begs the question whether Roman Reigns and his cousins consider Sami Zayn as part of the group. It could also raise speculation on how long the group will carry their honorary use before turning on it. WWE fans didn't waste any time in replying to Zayn's tweet. Some fans said it was disrespectful that the former Intercontinental Champion was left out of the poster, while a few fans joked that they must have forgotten about the honorary use. Another fan even jokingly suggested that he should talk to Roman Reigns about this. Sami failed to hit Kevin Owens with a steel chair to help Jey Uso on last week's Monday Night Raw, causing tension between him and Jey Uso. Owens has tried to break Zayn from the Bloodline. The storyline, which includes the former Intercontinental Champion, has fans interested in it. Further developments in the faction are highly awaited. Do you think Sami Zayn is a part of Roman Reigns' faction? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. WWE reportedly wants Ronda Rousey to be a big star like Brock Lesnar. As per the latest reports, 2-time women's champion Ronda Rousey could become a special attraction in WWE like Brock Lesnar. The baddest woman on the planet was recently fined and suspended after attacking an official following her match against Liv Morgan at SummerSlam. She invaded the SmackDown brand while under suspension and was recently involved in a confrontation with Adam Pearce on the latest episode of the show. Speaking on the latest episode of Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer talked about Ronda Rousey's current booking in WWE. He discussed whether the idea is for her to be a heel since she's seen as a babyface at the shows by fans. No, the idea is to get her to be a heel. The idea is to get her to be a heel. Here's the thing. The idea for Ronda Rousey actually is to get her to be what she was before, which is to break out of the pack, mainline woman's superstar. Not just a woman on the roster who is below Belair and all that, which she kind of was becoming, said Meltzer. He further stated that the promotion wants her to be an attraction along the lines of Brock Lesnar. They want to get her back to special attraction, big Brock Lesnar star. During her initial run in WWE, the UFC Hall of Famer was a standout in the women's division due to her star power and mainstream recognition. A higher-ups seemingly want her to go back to being that version of Ronda Rousey. According to Dave Meltzer, WWE wants to elevate the baddest woman on the planet to be a big star. They seemingly don't mind if she ends up being a face in the process. So that's the goal of what they're doing right now. The belief was that at the end, because she's Liv Morgan, ends up as a heel. What they're doing now isn't necessarily to make her a heel, it's to make her a big star. If she ends up being a babyface from this, that's fine too. Ronda Rousey's suspension was lifted after she paid her fine, which means the former women's champion is free to compete once again. We could see her face Liv Morgan for the SmackDown Women's Championship in a rematch, possibly at the Extreme Rules Premium Live event. However, it remains to be seen whether attacking Adam Pearce on SmackDown will have ramifications for Rousey. What are your thoughts on Ronda Rousey's current WWE run? Sound off in the comments below. Rhea Ripley sends a forward message to Mandy Rose after her historic win at NXT Worlds Collide. In the aftermath of NXT Worlds Collide, Rhea Ripley took to Twitter to send a message to Mandy Rose. At the show, Rose defeated Blair Davenport and Meiko Satomura to unify the NXT and NXT UK Women's Championships. With this historic win, she will continue her dominant 300-plus day title run in the developmental brand. Rhea Ripley is a former NXT and NXT UK Women's Champion herself. Taking to Twitter, the Eradicator sent a forward message to Rose after her hard-fought victory. "Welcome to the club at WWE Mandy Rose #NXT Worlds Collide," wrote Rhea Ripley. Heading into NXT Worlds Collide, both Rose and Satomura held their respective titles for more than 700 combined days. Meanwhile, Davenport emerged as the #1 contender for the now former NXT UK Women's Champion. The conclusion to the triple threat match at Worlds Collide saw the NXT Women's Champion hit kissed by the Rose on both women, which allowed her to secure the pinfall victory. At Clash at the Castle, Ripley accompanied her Judgment Day stablemates Finn Balor and Damian Priest in their tag team match against Edge and Rey Mysterio. In the lead-up to the event, Ripley spoke to Inside the Ropes, where she talked about being compared to WWE legend Chyna. The former Raw Women's Champion praised Chyna, referring to her as an icon. "I sort of get compared to Chyna a lot, which I love that. People keep making edits, and I think they're absolutely hilarious. I did like Chyna, I thought she was an icon. And she didn't fit in, which was great. Like, she was so different to everyone. She was muscly and she was beautiful. The others were beautiful, too. I'm not saying that they weren't. But she was beautiful in a different way." The Judgment Day could now add Dominic Mysterio to their ranks following his heel turn at Clash at the Castle. Following Balor and Priest's loss, the 25-year-old attacked his father and the Rated R superstar. Bray Wyatt's sister sends a message to Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks recently revealed that CBD had helped change her way of life, and Mika Rotten, the sister of Bray Wyatt, was amongst the many who reacted to the Legit Boss revelation. The Boss was featured on the cover of Cannabis and Tech Today and confirmed that she overcame alcohol abuse and depression after using cannabidiol products during an interview with the magazine. While she isn't currently involved with WWE, Banks' name still regularly pops up in mainstream media due to her rapidly growing brand outside wrestling. Bray Wyatt's sister came across Banks' latest interview and was happy to see the former women's champion's success story. Mika Rotten sent the following message to Banks on her Instagram stories. "My sis, always doing it. You are a true star, love you." The simple answer is yes. Multiple reports have all but confirmed her impending return to WWE as Triple H reportedly awaits the perfect opportunity to reintroduce Banks and her tag team partner Naomi to the fan. The former women's tag team champions were allegedly backstage at last week's Raw but weren't used due to undisclosed reasons. As things stand, Banks could reappear on WWE programming any week now, and Triple H is also clearly being secretive regarding his plans for the Mandalorian star. During his BT Sport interview with Ariel Helwani, the Cerebral Assassin reacted to the possibility of Banks' WWE comeback and was expectedly vague about the future. "Time will tell. Yeah, time will tell. Yeah, I think in a lot of ways, communication breakdowns are terrible, and there's a communication breakdown there for whatever reason. Starting back up bad communication, it's not a difficult process, but it can be a process, right? And you have to go through the process," said Triple H. How would you book Banks' WWE return? Share your opinions in the comments section below. Plans for Roman Reigns after WWE Clash at the Castle. Roman Reigns successfully defended his undisputed WWE Universal Championship against Drew McIntyre at Clash at the Castle this past Saturday in Cardiff, Wales. However, the Tribal Chief didn't get the job done on his own, as he had help from his Bloodline, which is a regular occurrence. The difference is that this time it wasn't the Usos or his special counsel Paul Heyman. His other cousin, Solo Sikoa, a star on NXT, was the one who came to his aid at the event. This has left many fans wondering who will step up to challenge the head of the table next. According to Dave Meltzer of Wrestling Observer Radio, Roman Reigns is currently not booked for WWE's next premium live event Extreme Rules. The event is scheduled to take place on October 8, 2022, in Philadelphia. Meltzer added that his next title defense will be at Crown Jewel, set for November 5, 2022, in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. He's not on the show. His next championship match is Saudi Arabia. I don't know who against, but I know it's Saudi Arabia. He's not on the Philly show, said Dave Meltzer. The Tribal Chief has defeated everybody that has stepped up to him, but there are still a few notable names that are yet to face him during his current reign. This includes Cody Rhodes, Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, and Karrion Kross. Any one of these names could challenge him at Crown Jewel. We could even see a rematch between him and Drew McIntyre on the show. The head of the table recently hit 2 years as the Universal Champion, and it doesn't seem like his historic run will come to an end anytime soon. Who would you like to see Roman Reigns face next? Sound off in the comments below.
I can feel the blood blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing